Good morning, children. Welcome back to the online class of Sri Kogulam Public School, Vattagara.
Where did we stop the last class? Did you remember the history? Then we started the new lesson, Nationalism in Europe. And we completed up to the Napoleonic Code or the Civil Code of 1804. I hope all of you completed the notes also. Okay. Then you have to read the textbook and refer the lecture notes. Please listen and to complete the notes. Don't forget that. Okay. Next, we can start the next part of this lesson, that is what did liberal nationalism stand for. Okay, liberalism, it came from the Latin word liber, which means free. Listen, liber means free, and the liberalism that can be divided into three definitions: economical definition, political definition, and social definition. First, we can see the social definition. Okay, then according to the middle class people, liberalism that stood for individual freedom and the equality before law. Clear? Then please see the chart. Socially, then or according to the middle class, liberalism stood for the individual freedom and equality before the law. Next, we can discuss the political definition to the word liberalism. Politically, it emphasized the concept of government by consent. That means they wanted to form a new form of the government with the permission of the entire citizens to conduct the election and to form the new government. Did you understand? Then next, since French Revolution that we discussed earlier, last year we discussed, as well as this lesson first part we discussed, that since French Revolution, liberalism had stood for the end of autocracy and the clerical privileges enjoyed by the first and second estate. Okay, then a constitution, they wanted a new constitution and to form a representative government. Every citizens, they wanted to get the equal political right or right to vote and to form the government. Understood? Then next year, then they argued for getting the right to property or inviolability of the private property. Every citizens, they wanted to get the right to secure the property, and they argued for the equality before the law. Listen, that means every citizens, they wanted to get the equality in front of the law. Clear? Then but earlier, then only the adult males, they got the right to vote during the, do you remember, Jacobins rule or Robespierre's government. And but later, then again only the property sections of the society, they got the right to vote. The woman, they didn't get the right to vote. Later only the woman, they got the right to vote. Okay, then next, Napoleonic Code that limited the suffrage or voting right and reduced the women to the status of the minor. It reduced the women as to the status of the minor, and the women, they organized the movement for getting equal political rights or the right to vote. Did you clear? Please see the chart. Politically, liberalism, it stood for end of autocracy and the clerical privileges, and they want to secure the right to property. Understood? Then next one, here economic definition. Economically, liberalism stood for the freedom of market and the free movement of the goods and capital. There followed the different weights and measures, different currencies. So it was very difficult for them to carry the goods from one place to another. Then, in example, please listen, the German speaking regions. We discussed that earlier. Napoleon's, he divided into 39 confederations. In 39 confederations, they followed the different weights and measures, and there existed the different currencies also. So very difficult for them to calculate the prices of the goods and to carry the goods from one place to another. The example for the currency, a merchant traveling from or carrying the goods in 1833 from Hamburg to Nuremberg, Hamburg and Nuremberg, two cities in Germany, when they carried the goods from one place to another, they wanted to overcome the 11 customs barriers. In each and every customs various, they wanted to pay 5% of the total goods as the tax. So total 55% of the goods or the prices of the goods they wanted to pay as the tax. Then so not getting any profit. So they demanded for then reducing the number of currency and the free movement of the goods. Okay, and this involved time consuming calculation also. Very difficult for them to calculate the taxes as well as the prices of the goods. Okay, and another example, an LA. What is meant by LA? LA is a unit of measuring the cloth. Listen, unit of measuring the cloth. One LA is different from one place to another. That's not equal. In some areas half meter, but other areas that was the 1 meter, like that variation. So very difficult for them to calculate the prices of the goods as well as time consuming. Okay, then please listen the features of liberalism. Economic liberalism, that stood for freedom of the market, abolition of the taxes, and the free movement of the goods and capital. Abolition of taxes, did you clear? Then internal customs duties they wanted to pay when they carry the goods from one city to another. Example we discuss here, Hamburg to Nuremberg, then 11 customs barriers. Each customs barriers they wanted to pay the 5% of the total amount. Okay, then it was a great loss for them. Understood that? So to avoid such like restrictions and to get certain freedom, then they formed a customs union that was known as Zollverein. What is meant by Zollverein? Zollverein, it was a customs union formed in 1834 under the initiative of Prussia. Okay, under the initiative of Prussia. Then here this customs union, what were the demands of this customs union? Okay, they demanded that then to abolish the tariff barriers or abolish the taxes and reduced the number of currency from 30 to 2. Clear? The customs union formed in 1834 under the initiative of Prussia, and then this customs union reduced the number of currency from 30 to 2. Okay, as well as then they abolished the tariff barriers. Understood? Created a network of railways for the free movement of the goods and capital. They started new railway system there or created the network of railways. Next, we want to discuss a new conservatism after 1815. Do you remember the importance of the year 1815? 1815, Napoleon was defeated at the battlefield of Waterloo. Okay, then after the defeat of Napoleon, then they wanted to form a new form of the government. So the conservatives, who were known as conservatives means those who believed in the old order, they wanted to form a new set of government. Listen, that means they wanted to form the monarchical form of the government. At the same time, they introduced certain administrative reforms. They didn't like to follow the earlier monarchical form of government. They introduced certain administrative reforms and regained the power of the Bourbon dynasty. Clear? Who? The conservatives. So with this purpose, they met together at Vienna in 1850. Vienna, the capital of Austria. Listen, Napoleon, he was defeated by the combined forces of Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. These countries, they met at Vienna to draw up a new settlement for Europe. To form a new settlement or to form a new type of government, then they met together at Vienna. That was known as the Vienna Treaty of 1815. And what were the changes introduced as per this Vienna Treaty? Please listen. Then the Vienna Congress, that was hosted by the Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. Was that Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich? And the main object of this Vienna settlement or Vienna Congress, that was to undo the changes introduced by Napoleon. to avoid the changes introduced by the Napoleon. And then they regained the power of the Bourbon dynasty. Listen, and as per this Vienna Congress, France lost its territories. France lost its annexed territories. Napoleon, he conquered more and more territories. As per the Vienna Treaty, France lost these annexed territories. Okay, and as well as to avoid the future expansion of France, they appointed the different states then on the boundaries of France. Listen, then on the boundaries of France, they appointed the various states to avoid the future expansion of France. Okay, in the north, the kingdom of Netherlands, including Belgium, northern part of France. Then the kingdom of Netherlands, including Belgium, and in south, Genova was added with the Piedmont, and in the western part, Prussia was given the part of then new territories, and then in northern Italy that was given to Austria. Listen, but they did not touch the 39 confederations of the German states. Listen, didn't touch that. 39 confederation of German states that they didn't touch. And in the east, Russia was given the part of Poland, and Prussia was given the part of Saxony. Clear it? Then next step, the main intention was to restore the monarchies. The main intention of this Vienna Congress, that was to restore the monarchies and create a new conservative form of the government. Then the conservative rules that were autocratic, and they did not tolerate, the conservatives, they did not tolerate then criticism and dissent. They didn't allow anyone to criticize the conservatives, as well as they tried to curb the activities that questioned the legitimacy of the autocratic government. If anyone questioned the autocratic government, they tried to curb this. Okay, next one, rulers, they were imposed censorship laws. You know what is meant by censorship law? Censorship law means the people, they did not have the freedom to express the ideas through mass medias. Okay, then they imposed the censorship laws. Otherwise, the people, they started to criticize the autocracy through mass media. So they introduced the censorship laws, and they demanded for the freedom of press. They wanted to get the freedom. Listen, the freedom of press. Please see the picture, the Treaty of Vienna, and what were the changes introduced. This was hosted by the Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. Okay, and what were the changes introduced as per this Vienna Treaty or Vienna Congress. Please see the chart very clearly explaining the important points. You refer these points when you will prepare the notes. Okay, did you clear this? The next part we can take the next class. And now once again I am requesting you to refer these points, read the textbook thoroughly, and then prepare the notes. Don't forget to call me if you have any doubt. Okay, then thank you.